What's up, guys? Who needs meta here with Cat again.
Hello.
Coming at you with our retro deck profile. Today we're going to look at our Flamvellsworn deck for September 2011 format. This is just a fun little, tier 2, 3 deck that's really fun, and we just like playing it, and we just did a mirror, and we really enjoy playing this deck, so we thought we'd profile it this week.
It's fun to go burr and then play Soul Charge in 2011.
Yeah, you basically get to play Soul Charge, which is kind of cool, with a battle phase. So, for main monster, 3 Firedogs. Destroy monster by battle, go ahead and special summon from your deck, which you will usually be special summoning your 3 Magicians. This is one of the bricks. Essentially, you just want to mill this with your Lightsworn engine, but I don't think anybody's ever had a Catastor in it on the board at the same time to actually resolve the 400 attack effect. I have used the effect of Archer to tribute itself to make Firedog bigger, but that's like super rare. That like almost never happens. And then we call this guy Poun, but I'm pretty sure it's Poun. But when it's run over, you could go search one. But essentially, it's just a level 1 non-tuner. So you could do this and then Firedog and Magician, and that's Trish. So that's essentially why you play it. And then it's again, you can just set it and go get Firedog. So.
And if you're cheeky, you can do this into this and make Black Rose.
Yeah, if you really need to, clear a whole board full of monsters, that's one way to do it. So. You have options, not the best options, but you have options.
They're there.
They're there. For the Lightsworn engine, we have 1 Lumina. This card's limited, so we can only play 1 copy, but we do play the 1 Lumina because we do play enough monsters to go get. 3 Lyla for back row removal. We essentially want to like summon this and pop the back row so that we have 1 less thing to deal with for our Rekindling play. And then it's another level 4 non-tuner and a spellcaster, so we can play Arcanite Magician and things like that. And then 3 Ryko. I've actually, a lot of times summoned this card off of Lumina because it's 5 and the Magician is 4, which makes 9, which is really weird. So if you, go Lumina into this and you have a Magician on board or you have a Rekindling with a Magician, you can make Trish. So that's kind of a fun little play. So this is one of the only decks you'll ever actually summon Ryko off of Lumina. And then the last one is 2 Wulf because we don't want to brick this card, but we don't mill too much in this deck, but we do mill a decent amount. So 2 Wulf.
Moderate milling.
It's good when it gets off. And then some non-Flamvellsworn monsters. We have the 1 Bull because this card's nuts. It's a recurable tuner. 2 Card Trooper to fill our grave with all kinds of goodies for us to rekindle back. You can also rekindle into a tribute monster for Caius. So if you only have 1, that's why we really like Caius. We were originally playing Gold Sark, so go get Rekindling, but a lot of times we weren't getting into a game state late enough to where Caius was good enough, or to where that Gold Sark and that Rekindling was good enough. So we just thought that Caius would just be a little bit better in terms of having a more reliable, stable monster for the format. Plus you can banish Graph off of it, and that's really good. And you can hit, if they set, a Bulb or a Dandy or something like that, and you hit that, that's also really good. So, card's nice. We don't play a single trap card, so we play Gorz. And if you drop Gorz and you summon Bulb, and because you have so many level 8s in your extra deck, more than the standard Stardust scrap than, what most people have. So you have even more options if you go Bulb 8-8. So that's a really cool play. I don't really like that. And then we're doing 2 Maxx over 2 Veiler, just because I feel like Maxx is the better hand trap of the format. We side deck the Veilers. But yeah, Maxx is a little bit better, just in our opinion, just because Plants is the best deck, and you want to have a fighting chance against Plants, so you have to essentially stop them in order to be able to do things. For spells, the main one, that one, this is Soul Charge. It lets you summon 5 monsters. The thing is, you have to summon them. You have to summon as many as there are, so you want to plan ahead in terms of, let's say, you can only use 4 of the monsters, and the other one is just going to get removed. So you want to normal summon beforehand. If you can't do anything, you want to account for your hand before you play this card as opposed to after, because you don't want to be stuck banishing stuff you're going to need for the second Rekindling, because you want them to essentially be live. So 1, Charge of the Light Brigade. We can go get our big toolbox, and then milling cards is really good because it fuels Rekindling, which is essentially the goal of the deck. Fuel Rekindling, play Rekindling. And you can kind of cheese it with Firedog and Luminas and have beatdowns like Arcanite Magician and things like that. But for the most part, you're wanting to, go all out with your Rekindling play. But this deck can grind a little bit because of Firedog being 19. 3 Solar Recharge. We have plenty of targets for this, so we want to play 3. Again, draw 2, mill 2. See more of our deck, especially getting rid of those dead wolves. 1 Foolish Burial. We can put a target for Rekindling. We can put Bull. We can put Wulf to get a monster. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do with Foolish Burial, so this card's really good. 1 Pot of Avarice. You'd think you'd want to keep all of your monsters in your graveyard. This is more of a late game card for either your hand traps, your Caiuses, your card troopers, because your Lightsworn engine does you no good in the graveyard because you're not fueling a Judgment Dragon. It's like we don't care about how many Lightsworns we have in our graveyard. The only ones we care about are the 9 Flamvell monsters. Everything else can get put back. 1 Rekindling will usually net you like a Synchro monster or 2, so you can put those back to keep your engine going and things like that, because we only duplicate play multiple copies of 1 extra deck monster, so we want to be able to have all the different options. So this is mostly for extra deck cards, Maxx and things like that, as opposed to your Flamvell monsters, because you want to be able to reuse your Lightsworns to keep milling, keep having fuel for solar recharge, or things like that. 1 Mind Control for just being able to take monsters and synchro summon, take like flip Rykos, take stuff your opponent controls. A lot of times they'll set like a bulb or a spore, and you can take that, or if they go turn 1 Lone Fire into one of those, you can take those, things like that. Or if they go turn 1 Earth, you have a tuner. You have a lot of ways to be able to take tuners to be able to go into different levels in your extra deck, so Mind Control's pretty good. And then Dark Hole, Reborn, Heavy, and 2 MSTs. Because we play 3 Ryko, 3 Lyla, we really don't need any more than 2 MSTs. You can almost play Lance if you want to play these. There's a couple places you can plop Lances if you really want to like abuse Firedog, but there's not really, because it's got 3 of it's the only monster that you can really abuse off of it. It's not like a lot of your monsters will get a lot of use out of that, so that's the reason we don't main deck the Lances. I did try it though. I just didn't like it as much. Extra deck. I was playing Formula Synchron and then ended up cutting it, so we'll just start with the 1 Armory Arm. This card's good. You need a 4. I initially cut it, and then I ended up needing it again, so it's like I'm really glad that I ended up sticking with the Armory Arm. But yeah, I thought about cutting this card, but this card's good. 1 Hyper Librarian and 1 Catastor. Librarian's really good in the plant mirror or the plant matchup because you can draw cards on their turn, which is really important to stun them. They have to do something else in order to do that. They have to like waste the Torgai to make Leviathan Dragon to beat over this. And you can like make it in like the beginning of a Rekindling play and then draw a whole bunch of cards and then hopefully draw into like Maxx or something like that. Or like an extender to keep your play going. But Librarian's really good in both those regards. For 6s, we play 1 Brio, of course. Having a lot of those like extra Flamvell monsters, you can brick just Magicians, you can brick Wolves. Just being able to, I wish this card was in the graveyard, not my hand. Like, I just wish I could just discard it. This is a really good way to do that. And Orient Dragon. I thought about playing Leviathan Dragon over this card, but I do like it. It's player preference. I'm really unsure right now, but we're playing 1 Orient as opposed to 1 Leviathan Dragon. For 7s, Black Rose and Arcanite. Black Rose, self-explanatory, but Arcanite over Ancient Fairy Dragon. I feel like this deck has a decent Dark World matchup. So the Ancient Fairy Dragon is really good, but if you want to do like a cheese play, you can play maybe cut the Orient for Ancient Fairy Dragon, and you can side Closed Forest against Dark World. So you can Ancient Fairy Dragon, pop their gates, and you can search Closed Forest, which is a play I've seen people do.
That's spicy.
Yeah. For 8, we have the one of Stardust Dragon, and then 2 Scrap Dragons. I really like Scrap Dragon here because a lot of times you'll be Rekindling for 5, and you won't be able to do anything with that 5th monster, so it's just extra fuel for this. Or even if you do like summon Lumina pop, or summon Lyla pop their back row, and then Rekindling for 4 and then make 2 8s, and then that Lyla's just not doing anything for you, because if you're Rekindling for 4, you don't really need Lyla's mill, so you can just go 1 for 1 there and then continue with your battle phase. Colossal Fighter, Thought Ruler, 1 Trish. The card's insane. There's so many ways to make it. You can just abuse Trish. And then for the Exceeds, we just have Utopia and Roach. Roach is really good in the Dark World and Agent matchup. The most important matchup is Agents for this card because you stop Hyperion. And then I will show the side deck because I do have a side. It's not great, but it's good enough for this. 1 Chimera Tech and then the 2 Cyber Dragons. This card gets better whenever Zen Mains comes out. We typically play the format without Zen Mains, but this is a really good counter to Zen Mains. one Maxi, third Maxi. And then we also, like I said, we do side deck the 2 Veilers. And then we also side deck 1 Crow in order to... this card's really good against plants, and it's really good against Dark World. So having an out to, like, in that matchup, Bulb, Spore, Pot of Avarice, and then, of course, stuff like Reborn. But, like, this card's just really good there. And then, of course, Grapha. And then the last monster is 2 Thunder Kings, so we can stun plants whenever we go first. Although they have a hard time starting. Like, not necessarily a hard time starting, but they just, like, summon Tengu. We could just put this on the board and then negate, like, whatever synchro summon they have to, like, throw at this card. So it's kind of cool. Because we play a lot of Lightsworn monsters, we can't play Light Mirror, so we can play Leeching. We play 2 Leeching the Lights instead. This card's really good against agents. These 2 cards could be the Lances as well. This is the other place you could put them. Is the 3rd space and a Dust Tornado. You could play Lances here if you really wanted to play that card. And then the last card is the 2 Shadow Mirrors. We can't play Light Mirror, but we can definitely play Shadow Mirror. There will be some duels in the description. Let me know what you guys think of the deck. Be sure to like and subscribe for more retro format content. And thanks for watching, guys.